about how Anthony Fauci's NIH group funded deadly experiments on sweet beagles and those horrific scenes from Monkey Island. Well, now we've discovered something much more disturbing, a twisted experiment to create transgender monkeys. According to a new report, Fauci's NIH spent over $200,000 for researchers to inject monkeys with gender-affirming hormones. The study was meant to study why HIV transmission rates were higher among transgender women. But instead of examining the behaviors of the members of the trans community, these perverted doctors decided to just turn the monkeys trans, just for fun. It's a case study so cruel and useless, and of course, even PETA is attacking it. Here now, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee and the host of Just Listen to Yourself podcast, Kara Davis. Thank you both for joining me. Governor, I'm going to start with you. Our government and our medical establishment isn't even willing to study the social and psychological impact of transitioning children, and yet here they are spending money on turning monkeys trans. What the heck is going on here?
Chuck Berry had a song about it years ago called Too Much Monkey Business. But this has been pretty historic because it's finally brought people like me, an avid hunter, and PETA together on the same page. Who would have ever thought? Joe Biden was right. He's bringing the country together. He's getting people from about as far away as you can get to come together and say, this is a crazy use of tax dollars. And it is insulting, not just to the taxpayer, but it is unnecessarily harmful to monkeys who had nothing to do with transgenderism.
Yeah, it's outrageous. I mean, Kara, we did a story on Fox and Friends. We talked with Dr. Marty McCary. They're doing the research on the psychological effects of masking because our government, who took tons of COVID money, won't do it, and another organization has to do it. You tell me, why are we spending money like this on these kinds of silly experiments?
This is really, honestly, this is the last thing I thought I'd be on TV talking about. Like, this is so insane, but this is just another example of the social sickness that has kind of infected all parts of American life. You know, that this topic of transgenderism has really prevented us from delving into, as you pointed out, other things that we need to, but it's because it's a social justice issue. So it becomes the most important thing. As you said at the top of the show, Rachel, like, God forbid we actually study the idea of behaviors that transmit HIV. You know, the reason why HIV is raging among trans women is because trans women are men, and they're still having sex with other men. And so that is one of the most risky behaviors when it comes to the transmission of HIV. I mean, I just gave you that information for free, Rachel. Send me the $200,000.
No, you're so right. Governor, the politicization of science, and we've seen it, obviously this has been happening before with all this woke stuff, but even throughout this pandemic, it seems like it's on overdrive. What kind of damage? I mean, you were a governor. You know how important public health is, and that kind of trust. This politicization of science, what is it going to, what are the long-term effects of this for people like you who are trying to lead people during dangerous public health periods of time, like a pandemic?
Well, first of all, I'd like to split that $200,000 with Kara, so maybe we can get together and figure out how to do that. The danger of this, and let's be very serious for a moment, is that the only science that's being practiced by many of these people on the left is political science. This is not science. This isn't even junk science. This is insanity. And they're just making it up as they go. They're calling it science, but it isn't. We need science. We need serious science because it's what advances better health. It advances technology that makes our lives better, provides a greater sense of capacity to get out of poverty. Those are all things that science can do. But what they're masking as science is not science at all. It's basically word salad creating all of these, as Kira mentioned, social justice ideas, and it's not healthy to the American people, to the American economy, or to the American future.
Amen to that, Governor. Thank you, Governor Mike Huckabee. Thank you, Kara. Great conversation. And I'm glad we struck that deal.